Driving debrief for February the 1st, Thursday. This was a special lesson. It was kind of jumped on me at last moment by Tony. He literally messaged me the night before and went, "I've got a slot, do you want it?" And I was like, yes. Even though it was no real advance notice, it was good to get more into my week and get more driving experience and driving flow going. So he turned up and we travelled to Launceston, and I'm happy to report I got to try my first full mock test. The other mock test I was talking about before got cut short, and I noticed because I didn't do a manoeuvre. It was almost a full-length mock test, shall we say, but it wasn't a full-length mock test. It got cut down maybe 10 minutes early. I think they're going to be like 40 minutes long or something like that. So I'm not going to say I passed the mock test because I didn't. How can you, when you've done your first newbie mock test, you're always going to fail it, and you might fail a couple after that as well. You're meant to do like 6 mock tests, I believe, before you do your main physical driving test to show that you are ready. And we followed pretty much the same route as the other mock test, except there was a little bit of a deviation, I think, into the supermarket area where I did a manoeuvre, which was a forward bay park, which I got right. Which I was amazed I got right at, because we were literally only practicing it the other day over in the Hellmouth town. That was the manoeuvre that he got me doing, forward bay park in the supermarket, and I got it between the lines. It was the new technique of centering a line in the window before doing the full turn kind of worked. The trickier one is doing the reverse bay parks, because you're centering the line in the window for 3 bays back. That's a hard one. So driving from here to Launceston, that was a bit finicky because I noticed that I'm still terrible at slip roads. You still have to do so many things within like 2 seconds. You have to, you have to look at it early like you're approaching a T-junction to try and see if anything's coming, but you can't really tell, or I'm not quite sure which part of the road I'm going to be looking at when you come. I don't know how to draw it. You're on a slip road that starts looking like a T-junction, except it obviously veers off to go parallel to the left of the T. So it's like a badly drawn capital T. So you got to look early with the traffic passing in front of you. You can't really judge much from that at the moment, or at least I can't. And then you're turning left, you've got to keep left, you've got to indicate right while you're turning left and keeping left, you've got to look in your mirrors behind you, you've got to speed up the car in a low gear, say gear 3, to match the high speed traffic. You have to check for a gap, you have to start moving from keeping left to going over to the right, but you've got to check for a gap. You've got to check your blind spot immediately before you go out, and then get out early. But if something's coming and you don't perceive it right, then you've got to abort, usually by slowing down, and then it's a lot harder to rejoin at that point. Tons of things within literally like 2 seconds. Maybe at a push, maybe 4 seconds. Yeah, very difficult for me at the moment. I'm a bit panicky doing those. I did a couple, I think I did at least one on the mock test, and I managed to do it okay, but only because there was a gap for me. Roundabouts are what I failed on. I got serious marks, which is if you get 1 serious or 1 dangerous mark, you will fail your test, or you'll fail your mock test. If you get minors, you don't fail your test, but if you build up like more than 3 minors in the same category, which I almost did, then it builds up to 1 serious mark, which is a test fail. What was it? The 3 minors I got, I don't know, he told me I didn't look in my mirrors enough, but I don't know if that's added to the minors. He had one that was 3 minors, and he said if it was 4 minors it would have been 1 serious. I can't actually remember what that one is now, which is a pain. But I remember the serious fails were something that should be obvious now, but is still very difficult, which is keeping left at junctions like a roundabout. Left to go left first exit, and left also to go left or straight ahead second exit. Actually, I think there are some cases where you're meant to enter a roundabout on the right lane to go straight ahead exit, whether it's second or what. But for the ones I did, I had to keep left for them. and I think I straight lined the roundabout, so I kept left on the approach, but I didn't keep left enough as I went over the give way line, and then I either thought I was going to go around the centre island of the roundabout, or I just didn't keep left enough. So I didn't follow the curve of the roundabout on the left side of my tyres to keep to that side, to give all the lanes space. I did one roundabout really good apparently, which is the Scarn... God, I can't... Penny Gillen roundabout, that one. I actually did that one. That might have been the first time I got that right, actually. Possibly. He congratulated me on that. But there were two before that I got wrong, which were right at the start of the test. So we started at the same place, the weird tiny housing estate next to two roundabouts. And the first one of those I did everything I said there. I should have kept left for second exit left, but I think I straight lined the roundabout, so I didn't give enough room to the lanes on my right as I came in. So that would have been a fail. And then the next roundabout, which says Bude and Bodmin on it, but there's 3 exits, I believe I got that right, which is keep off the white solid line around the centre ring and don't indicate until you're going to exit, because it's only a 3 exit roundabout. We did mostly the same route as the one that takes you out to Tregadillet. We didn't do any driving. We did a tiny amount of driving in the centre. Oh, I stalled several times, yeah. But you don't fail if you stall, as long as you keep the car under control and recover from the stall fast. Get moving again quickly. Don't roll over giveaway lines, don't roll back, that sort of thing. So I probably got a minor for stalling, but you don't get fails for stalling if you keep it in control. I stalled the first time, I think it was right after beginning the mock test, exiting the little estate to go to the roundabout I was talking about. I stalled a second time that I know of. There were 3 times. There's one I can't remember, but there's one that I know of where I was actually in the centre of Launceston. We were there for a short time, and it's like coming downhill just past the castle entrance. You've got this weird central reservation that is sideways. It's like perpendicular. It's like 90 degrees from how you'd expect a central reservation to be for cars. And it doesn't look like the full length of your car can fit in this island side on, but Tony assures me you can, at least with a small car we were driving. So it's like, I don't know, you've got the island between the 2 roads, and then you've got sideways on, you've got 2 tiny lanes in the island. Very strange, and I stalled before going to that. There was another moment where I didn't stall, but it was at a T-junction and I had to give way to a shit ton of traffic for ages, and I thought I wouldn't get done for hesitation because there was just so much traffic there that there wasn't a physical way through onto the road I was turning right at this T-junction out of a housing estate by a petrol station. But apparently I didn't notice a van on my left who has decided to wait for me. I didn't notice him flashing me. I think it's because another truck passed in between us, eclipsing him right at the point. Tony caught him flashing me, which is like a sign to let me out. I didn't catch it. I think it's because the truck eclipsed the flash from me. But apparently you can also tell that he was letting me out via his road position. Like, we were at the T-junction waiting to go right, and instead of being here and like in front of us at the T-junction with this indicator going where he would be if he was just turning around us, he was over here. Like, he would have gone that way, but he wasn't past us yet. It was like he was giving us a bunch of room. He was giving the T-junction a bunch of room, and apparently that is also a sign, other than flashing lights, that someone's trying to let you out. And I didn't know that, and I think he gave me some kind of mark for that. I don't know if it was minor or major. I think it was a minor. Trying to think of other things that happened during the mock test. I thought it was mostly good. There was one point where we were at what looks like an empty hazard sign, but is actually a rubbed off red triangle with a black zigzag. The black zigzag part in the centre's rubbed off, so it just looks like an empty red triangle. We were at that bit where you're meant to start going slow anyway and going in second gear. I think I went to second gear, then I thought this is a little bit too slow. Went to third gear, Went a bit faster even though I knew that some bendy crap was coming up that I'd have to go into second for. And I think while I was in third, a giant truck zoomed by us, and I didn't notice the road narrowing at the point where it zoomed by us, and it was like the road was muddy, so I think it cascaded a bunch of like loose mini pebbles and gravel at the side of our car, and Tony remarked that we were a bit too close and that the road narrowed in the debrief. And I was like, I didn't notice. I thought the truck was a bit big, but I thought the road wasn't narrowing. It looked like it was staying wide for now. So apparently I should have held back at that part, gone slowly towards it in second. I suggested would I have stopped or crawled forward in first, and he said no, it's alright in second, which was what I was going to go for anyway. It's annoying because I was going to go for it beforehand until I thought I was going too slow, because I knew I had all the crappy bends and shit coming out. There was a bit of a chicane where he gave me a minor, and I thought I did it all perfectly, and he gave me a minor. Apparently there was one chicane that was not our priority, so we would have had to wait, but it was all clear, so I went through. And he said that was fine to go through slowly at. And then the second chicane, this is in Tregadillet, was our priority, and it was all clear, but I was preparing to wait just in case, even though it's our priority, some idiot would come through, because that happens. But he said I went through that way too slow, and he said because it was our priority, you should just treat it like a normal road and kind of bomb it through there, like high speed. And then immediately after that you have a tiny roundabout. And the first time I met this mini roundabout, I went so fast that I didn't even see that there's a mini roundabout there, because I was unfamiliar with Tregadillet area. And I just kind of glanced over my shoulder and went, whoa, there's a mini roundabout here. And luckily no one was on the roundabout, and I just went over at high speed. That was the first kind of short mock test, abridged thing I did. This mock test, apparently I approached it way too slowly. I was approaching it in first gear because I thought, because there's like a hedge thing, there's kind of an obstruction on the right, so it's quite hard to look down there to see if traffic's coming up onto the mini roundabout. So I thought I'm going to do this slowly so I can look. And apparently I was doing it too slow that time. So the first time way too fast, the second time way too slow. And apparently I should have gone up there in second gear. And even though you have an obstruction there and can't see down the roundabout, if you're going sort of slow enough in second but not that slow, you have time to slow and stop if something did come, and time to look. But I still think it's quite dodgy. I still think it's a roundabout where you need to go slow to see down it if you're a noob like me. Like when I'm really driving, I would probably approach that slowly. Yeah, apparently he wants me to do that faster, and he's the boss, so I've got to do it faster next time. Not too fast, not too slow. I don't believe I did any overtaking of my own accord on the dual carriageways or anything like that. Before the mock test we did some overtaking, but it's not something I would have chosen to do because it didn't look like a problem, sort of thing. Like, why would I need to overtake? But yeah. I'm not very used to that, doing the overtake on dual carriageways thing. It seems a little bit difficult, because he wants you almost exactly at 70 miles per hour when you're doing it. Yeah, and it's quite difficult to maintain your road position on the right side of the dual carriageway compared to the left, I find. Trying to think of what else happened. We went through a school zone in Tregadillet, and we always approach it slowly, but it's a 30 mile per hour zone, and I noticed a 20 mile per hour sign, and I was ready to slow down to do 20, even though there's no one around. It wasn't school closing time like last time. No one around, no people. And I was about to slow to 20, then I saw it was like, this is a 30 mile per hour zone. It's because there are 30 signs and 20 signs in the same place, which is weird, but if you look at the 20 sign, it's got a weird blacked out, like where a double flashing light would be, and it would be like, this is a 20 mile per hour zone when the lights are flashing. So this school has its own speed limit zone modifier, which I've never noticed before. It's kind of odd. Maybe they should go with that in Wales, you know, where Wales is like being flooded with 20 mile per hour limits, where it used to be 30 mile per hour and stuff, and 40. Instead of doing that, they could have just like a 20 mile per hour light modifier, like this thing in Tregadillet, where when the lights are flashing it's 20 mile per hour, and they could just turn it on at school times and rush hours or something. And that would probably be not so bad, I guess. If you're gonna impose all these fucking stupid regulations on roads, which they kind of shouldn't, but that's a whole other story. I mean, it was a good mock test. It felt good. The sun wasn't in my eyes, so I didn't have my sunglasses on that time. It was still bright and dry. It was a very nice driving day. I loved it. It was one of those kind of overcast. There's kind of little pinky colours on the horizon, but it was like overcast, dry, bright. But the sun wasn't able to pierce the clouds, so I didn't need sunglasses for glare. So that was good. Perfect driving conditions, really. I think I've covered all the main things. I did the turn right, the turn correctly that the sat-nav woman says is like, it shows it to be like a T-junction, but it's not actually a T-junction. So that's just getting familiarised with the roads in the area, really. So it's not a T-junction, it's no give way, it's just a turn. After that, you do get a very sharp T-junction, though, which you have to definitely stop and go into first four and look over your right shoulder for, because it's a very kind of angular T-junction turn. I'm probably missing something, but it was a good test. Good mock test. It was a full mock test. I was very happy that I got the manoeuvre done first time. It was obvious that it was going to be a fail because, you know, a newbie who takes a mock test will always get serious marks. You watch Clearview driving on YouTube with a man, she's just like, every student she does a mock test with, they always like get at least one serious. It's hyper rare that any of her students doing the mock test get only minors and no serious. Seems like she is very often dishing out the serious marks for. And yet when they leave her, they pass her test, so I don't know. Haven't looked under the bonnet of the car. I keep pushing Tony, when are you going to show me under the bonnet of the car and point out what all the things are? We keep putting it off. And he's like, not now, we'll do it next time. Not now, we'll do it next time. Not now. So hopefully eventually we'll look under the bonnet and he can point out what all the different fluids and things are. Yeah, can't think of anything else. I know that when you go through lift and down, it's a 30 mph zone, but it's very, very easy to speed just through that area. You can just go over 30 miles an hour, and Tony wants me in fourth gear pretty much for most of that stretch. Third gear or fourth gear, and it's very easy to go over 30 miles an hour in that zone. I keep noticing myself. He goes like, come on, 25 mph, that's way too slow. And I'm like, okay, 27, we'll go 27. Go to 27, and then I just look up at the road for a minute and away from my speedometer thing. I look back at the speedometer and we're going 31 all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, pull my foot off the accelerator and add a little dip to the brakes and it feels like a jolt. Oh yeah, talking about jolts. I can't do smooth gear changes yet. I think I'm coming off the clutch too fast, or I think I'm not rev matching, which is matching the speed of the wheels to the engine before you do a gear change. So there's a jolt. And I saw a driving video the other day. Yeah, it was Clearview driving again, where a guy came off a roundabout and he was meant to be going from gear 3 to gear 2 or something. No, gear 2 to gear 3, something like that. He was aiming for gear 3 anyway, so whatever it was, he was aiming for gear 3 from wherever he was coming off the roundabout, and instead he went into gear 1, and the car jolted like an emergency stop. It was like, woo. And I can see why Tony stopped me a couple of times, noticing that I was in first gear, because that was a big jolt on the video. And now I'm a bit scared of doing that, like accidentally getting first gear when I'm trying to get third gear, because I don't want that jolt, and a car can come right into the back of you if you don't make sure you've got third gear, because it only takes a tiny bit of drift left and you're in first gear. And it's similar with second and fourth. Actually, it's quite hard to get into second, so you end up going to fourth more than you go into second, so that's an issue. I'm starting to be a bit more steady with my hands when during the test he asked me, what do you do to demist the windows? And like, show me, actually, it was a show me, tell me. There's a show me, which was, can you show me how to demist the windows? The point of the show me is so that you know your auxiliary controls, but more than that, so that you can do something in the car without losing control of your speed and steering. So luckily I know where the demister is. The demister is the square window icon with the wavies for the rear demister, and the front demister is the curved window icon with the wavies. Apparently you just press the same button to turn them off, and I was pressing a turn off all button that he showed me ages ago. So that's about maintaining steering control while you're doing some shit with the car buttons. The other one was a tell me question that was right at the start, and he said, how do you check that your ABS is working? And that flummoxed me straight away. I was like, oh shit, I can't remember. I haven't heard this one. ABS to me sounds like something to do with braking. I don't know the acronym. I think it's A something braking system. Tony said it's contentious what the A means. I think it's advanced braking system, or some people think it's like auto braking system. Some people just keep changing what the A means. So I don't know what the actual A in it means. But it could be anti-lock brake system. Anyway, it's like when you're doing the emergency stop, it's the brake supplementary computer that stops the wheels locking up when you go into a skid or something. And I didn't know how to check that was working. So I just went pass and we carried on. And I think you get a minor mark if you can't answer it. So it's not a fail or anything, you just get a minor. But he told me after the test was over that it's... all you say is that there's a light on the dash. How would you check your ABS is working or not working? Well, there'd be an orange light on the dash if it isn't. Or a red light if you need to immediately take it to the mechanic and not drive with it because it's too risky. I'm probably missing something, but I'm going to leave it there. That was my first mock test. I'm quite happy that I've done that. I knew it was going to be a fail. That doesn't matter to me. I wanted to get one done. It's taken so long to get one done. Like, it's like 2nd of February. I thought I'd be doing these like at the start of January. It's taken this long to actually get into mock tests, so I hope we'll be doing a lot more of them from now on. I've got like 5 weeks, so hopefully we can get 6 of those in before the test, the first week March. Anyway, thank you for watching.